Good evening. I'm Lucinda Main, the 2019 Remington Honor Medalist, and your MC for this evening's celebration. I have the distinct honor to have been the last Remington medalist to have received their medal in a live meeting, and have been asked by today's honorees to be the MC for their special event. I feel so very grateful for both of these privileges. Tonight, we recognize the recipient of the most prestigious award in pharmacy, the Remington Honor Medal. In 2019, as the Remington Honor Medal entered its second century, the APHA Foundation announced the establishment of the Remington Endowment Campaign. APHA provided a generous benefactor contribution to serve as a catalyst for the campaign. Since then, under the leadership of Dr. John Gans, the 2009 Remington medalist, the campaign continues to grow. While slowed under COVID, the Remington Endowment activities have continued in a virtual environment. APHA is pleased to thank all contributors who supported the campaign. A full list of contributors can be found at the link in your event program and found on the APHA Foundation Remington Endowment Campaign webpage. When APHA invited me to serve as the MC last year, I reflected on my decades-long admiration for John Grabenstein, his commitment to country and family, and his tireless work on immunizations in the U.S. and around the world. I was so disappointed last year that due to the acute impact of the coronavirus pandemic, we didn't have the ability to recognize John and present his medal in our traditional, and may I say elegant, way. I'm so pleased that John and his wife Lori are here as part of this year's celebration. When I learned that Marialice had expressed a preference for me to MC, as John had in 2020, it was so easy to say yes with authentic enthusiasm. My admiration for them both stems from their pioneering and evidence-based work on pharmacist-delivered immunizations, medication therapy management, and community-based practice development. It was also influenced by their dedication to developing leadership talent for pharmacy and the communities they serve. Paramount in my admiration for each of them is that their guiding principle throughout their careers has been service above self. Before we continue with the program, let's take a moment to recognize the work of our colleagues on the front lines of the COVID fight and who are protecting our nation to the very best of their abilities from societal and healthcare challenges. As members of a healing profession, each of us has a lot for which to be thankful. May those serving on the front line be steadfast in the swift and safe completion of their duties. Thank you. Now let me remind us all about the history of the medal.
Each year, APHA awards the Remington Honor Medal to a pharmacist who has performed a great service for American pharmacy during the previous year, or whose lifelong efforts are considered highly influential on American pharmacy. The medal is the highest honor given by the American Pharmacists Association. The Remington Honor Medal display in the awards gallery provides the history of the award as well as the original medal presented in 1919 to the first recipient, James Hartley Beale. In addition, the medals donated by previous Remington Honor Medal recipients or their families are also displayed.
The Remington Honor Medal is perhaps the ultimate example of pharmacy leadership at the national level. It is the profession's most prestigious honor. It was originally conceived by the APHA's New York chapter in 1918 to recognize Joseph P. Remington, eminent community pharmacist, manufacturer, and educator. It has been the privilege of APHA to serve as its steward since 1979, when the New York Society passed that responsibility to the association. Sadly, since we last met in person, there are 3 Remington medalists who are no longer with us in body, but definitely in spirit. In June 2019, former APHA president and treasurer and the 1973 Remington Honor medalist, Grover Bowles, passed away at the age of 99. In November 2019, longtime APHA staffer, APHA honorary president, and the 2001 Remington Honor medalist, George Griffin-Hagen, passed at the age of 95. And sadly, Dr. Joseph A. Otis, the 1990 Remington medalist, also passed away at the age of 92, just on February 24th. All were remarkable men who left their mark on APHA and the profession, and I'm privileged to have known them all from my earliest days in the profession. So tonight, let's honor these pharmacy leaders and the many other pharmacy leaders who have passed, in whose footsteps we follow for their years of service to APHA and pharmacy. And now let's have a quick review of how the Remington Honor Medalist is selected. To be sure, the process evaluates our candidates carefully with selection criteria that sets a high bar. The recipient must have provided extremely distinguished service to the profession over a sustained length of time, or in those cases where the medalist has been selected for a more singular contribution, its impact upon the profession must have been one of profound proportions. Secondly, the prospective recipient's credentials must undergo intense scrutiny. Nominations for this high honor come from across the profession, and when they undergo a multiple-step screening, nomination, and selection process. Every year, the Board of Trustees appoints the Remington Honor Medal Screening and Selection Committees to review the nominations. To maintain the breadth of the award and to assure it remains our highest honor, its members are nominated by national pharmacy and federal organizations represented in the APHA House of Delegates. Then, guided by the screening committee's evaluation, the selection committee chooses 2 finalists from which the medalist is chosen. After the screening and selection committees have completed their charge, the former APHA presidents select the medalists from the 2 nominees who progress through the process. The members of this past year's committee are noted in the event program. Thank you to all the members of the 2020 and 2021 screening and selection committees and the former APHA presidents for your engagement in this selection process. You've done well. Thank you. Now, typically we recognize the award recipients during a formal dinner, but COVID has led to all of us shifting the ways we conduct business, including recognizing our award recipients. Many of you viewed John Grabenstein's Remington address on APHA's website over the past year, but we want to make sure that John receives appropriate recognition for his significant contributions to the pharmacy profession and health of our nation. The fruits of his significant and lifelong career contributions are so remarkably visible in the recognition of pharmacists' active vaccination participation and leadership for COVID-19. In reflecting on John's longstanding and unflagging dedication to America's first pharmacy fraternity, Phi Delta Chi, we focus on his efforts to capture the history of America's first pharmacy fraternity. In over 500 pages, John compiled the story of the fraternity in its own words to preserve the context of events. He spearheaded the effort to compile this anthology by gathering reports, commentaries, and other materials scattered across this country in libraries, archives, attics, basements, closets, and mines. John's work to create an army of new pharmacy leaders, work that has also impacted tens of thousands of practicing pharmacists and their patients across the United States, have led to a revolution in leader development programming and personal development that is critical to the transformation of our profession in the coming years. John's vision for and passion to help develop pharmacy leaders began nearly 30 years ago when he crafted what would eventually become the Leader Development Seminar, a 3-day series of interactive educational workshops around leadership. The depth and breadth of John's program provided attendees with a truly transformative experience. While some may not see John's work in leadership development to be as important as his efforts to improve public health, it may actually prove to have been an even greater impact. After all, the best leaders like John don't just teach others how to lead, they also teach others how to teach others to lead. In reference to John's work in public health, John Grabenstein's name is synonymous with immunizations. He was one of the visionaries who put into motion the path for education and training that would enable pharmacy colleagues to immunize within their communities. a role that positioned pharmacists a significant member of the immunization neighborhood's fight against the COVID pandemic. The expansion of practice envisioned by John and a cadre of pharmacist leaders over 25 years ago demonstrated a lifelong commitment of our medalists to optimizing our profession's role in public health, particularly immunizations. During his 27 years serving his country as an active duty officer in the U.S. Army, John earned numerous distinctions and honors. One of his most influential assignments was the head of the Military Vaccine Agency, known as MILVAX, where he oversaw the Defense Department immunization programs for 9 million troops, retirees, and family members spread across 4 continents and dozens of ships at sea. Our profession and country owes John the gratitude which can only be expressed by the awarding of the profession's highest honor, the Remington Honor Medal. I encourage you to go back and watch or read John's Remington address. This can be found linked in the event chat now on APHA's Remington Award Recognition webpage. Thank you, John. I'm pleased that each of you here tonight can witness as John formally receives his Remington Medal. I would now invite APHA President Michael Hogue to present the 2020 Remington Honor Medal to our distinguished pharmacist colleague, John D. Grabenstein.
On behalf of the American Pharmacists Association and the profession of pharmacy, congratulations on being selected as the 2020 Remington Honor Medalist. Ladies and gentlemen, John Grabenstein. Thank you for everything you've done for our profession.
Wow. We had rehearsal, but this isn't rehearsal. Hi, my name is John Grabenstein, and I'm a pharmacist. Thank you for this great honor. With humility, I need to point out that there are pharmacists watching who have given thousands of vaccinations, tens of thousands of vaccinations probably, each, and I have injected not even 10. America's best pharmacists touch their patients. They armor them against infection. I applaud you who touch. Touch in the sense of, please roll up your sleeve. I also mean touch figuratively, of course, in the sense of caring. Bravo and brava to each of America's pharmacists and pharmacy technicians who are so obviously America's hometown heroes during this pandemic. You save lives. It's that simple. Lucinda mentioned Phi Delta Chi. It's a nurturing place. Any fraternity or sorority is a laboratory to develop interpersonal skills. We took it further, creating an ongoing forum for self-awareness, professionalism, and service. Phi Delta Chi fielded programs to help people develop their own leader skills, to nurture the leader within, via immersive programs in self-discovery, not just listening to motivational speakers. You have to understand yourself before you can hope to lead others. In my Army journey, I found another wonderful laboratory, teaching me how to get things done within large groups of people, allowing me to explore vaccines and vaccination. Across America, it thrills me to see "Get Vaccinated Here" signs in front of pharmacies around the country each fall. Even better is when I see those signs in the spring and the summer, because preventable infections harm people all 12 months of the year. I hope you're one who vaccinates all year round. Okay, I wrote that Pharmacist as Vaccinator program in 1996. You took the course. You took the challenge. We've gone over 400,000 pharmacists, and now technicians too, giving tens of millions of doses per year, year after year. And this year will be huge. You touch those patients. You're their pharmacist. You protect them. Touching is important. Once the camera's turned off, I'm going to steal away, step to kiss and to say thank you to that sparkling, multi-talented woman who's helped me for 38 years. My gorgeous wife, Lori, and the cutest nurse ever. I'm blessed with talents. I'm lucky with timing. Most important, I've been entrusted with the wonderful wife and the 4 best kids ever: Emily, Annie, Erica, and Peter. Do I believe vaccines are safe? Each of our 4 kids is fully vaccinated. The best pharmacists are the ones who touch their patients. Be a pharmacist who touches. When you touch, it means you care. Thank you all very, very much.
Now is the time to shine the spotlight on Marialice Bennet, our 2021 medalist. The brief bio of Marialice appears in your electronic event program, included as a handout for this session. The Remington Screening and Selection Committee had the opportunity to review a much more extensive compilation of Marialice's achievements and contributions, and they clearly felt that she met the criteria and fulfilled the spirit of the Remington Honor Medal. We have asked several of Marialice's colleagues to provide some insight into our medalist. Before I introduce our first speaker, I would like to call out 2 links posted in that chat where you can sign an electronic book for John and Marialice and share your own personal congratulations with each of them. They will receive these comments following the event this evening. I would now like to introduce Harold Godwin, former APHA president and the 2018 Remington Honor Medalist, to kick off the scheduled remarks.
I'm pleased to provide comments on the remarkable career of Marialice Bennet. Upon graduation from the OSU MS residency program, I remained at OSU as an assistant director under Cliff Lachelet. I first met Marialice when hiring a student pharmacy intern. There she was, bright, enthusiastic intern. The department was never the same. Marialice was embedded in OSU's innovative department as an intern and later as Cliff's first clinical pharmacist. One of my duties was the schedule for pharmacists and interns. Not only did Marialice have a complicated school schedule, she also requested lunch off for the daily pharmacist lunch bridge club, her networking beginning. Marialice has a passion for innovation and expanding the boundaries of practice. A lady of influence and innovation. She later shifted her career to the college faculty, and there she created her impact by developing a clinical community pharmacy residency program and established her own college-based practice clinic in partnership with a primary care physician. In this educational environment, she, being Marialice, coached and mentored her beloved residents and students throughout their careers. She did it through food. Come over for a meal, conversation, and mentoring at the Bennet residence. I've known Marialice throughout her career, but to my dismay, I don't think I've ever won a debate with her. Tactful, yet persistent. As if practice and education leadership is not enough, reflect upon her impact on pharmacy organization leadership. APHA board, APHA president, community residency accreditation surveyor, awards, awards, and awards. Marialice loved to play baseball as a young girl, and perhaps this is where she found her passion to be a team player. When the profession needs somebody to chair a commission, or lead a task force, or write a practice how-to manual, call on our profession's utility team leader, Marialice Bennet. She has created a legacy of innovation, implementation, and action for leadership in our profession. Congratulations, Marialice, in receiving the profession's highest honor, the Remington Award.
Thank you, Harold. Our next speaker is former APHA President Matt Osterhaus. Welcome, Matt.
There are many words that leap to the when I think of Marialice Bennet. Teacher, mentor, leader, visionary, friend. Marialice believes in getting started on the task at hand. And as we all know, Marialice is a person of action. Thus, an action-oriented verb describes her well, and I choose inclusive. Her talent to lead people, bring everyone into the discussion, push each person to share their own insight to solve a problem is uncanny. And she doesn't stop there. She lets dissenters be heard, corrals those going off the rails, and reinforces the creed, there are no bad ideas. When we were in Washington, D.C. on Sunday mornings for APHA board meetings, although she is a devout Methodist, Marialice would be an early riser and join our group for Mass at the Catholic Church. She shared her thoughts, listened to ours, was willing to give of her time as a sign of unity on our board. She was always willing also to add to the collection basket, sometimes twice. Marialice is a great listener. Thank God, right, John? She shares compliments liberally. She coaches, she reprimands, she counsels. She takes the time and makes the effort to show people that they matter. She goes out of her way to include those who might be left behind. She motivates people to exceed their own expectations. I have benefited from Marialice's pushes and pulls over the past 25 years, and I'm a better person and a better pharmacist for having the pleasure of working and playing alongside Marialice Bennet.
Well said, Matt. We now have former APHA President Kelly Good, who will share her remarks.
"250 words about Marialice. Seriously, not enough to cover an important career and friendship. So many accomplishments and so many stories. From a 1999 presentation on creating a specialty practice, thank you, Ann Burns, for putting us together, to the validation of the community-based pharmacist practitioner. Marialice, affectionately known as the grandmother of community-based pharmacy residency training. Always a friendly competition between the VCU Rams and OSU Buckeyes, not only on the dance floor at APHA, but residency candidates too. And yes, the sweetness is truly deceiving. After all, Rams are better than Buckeyes. Our football team is undefeated. To the creation of the community pharmacy residency vision and standards. Marialice is a catalyst who has led the direction for taking care of patients where they live, work, play, and pray. Our leadership paths connecting, crisscrossing, and spanning almost 2 decades, starting with APHA, APPM sections. Really, what does it mean to be incoming and outgoing? And can they truly be SIGs? To the presidency of APHA and more time at 2215. And even a leopard robe or two. Marialice is an authentic servant leader and tireless advocate for community-based pharmacy practice. On a personal note, there is so much more. Girls' trips spanning the globe, planes, trains, and buses, but made it to the castle. Late night talks, planning just a little mischief. There's beanie babies, teddy bears, sometimes wine, And where's John? Marialice, my dear and treasured friend, colleague, and mentor, to quote Prince, let's circle back and party like it's 1999. Cheers to you on this well-deserved and incredible honor, the Remington Medal, aptly named after an eminent community pharmacist.
Thank you, Kelly. Great words. Next up is a former resident of an Ohio State University program where Marialice served as the residency program director, Janelle Rusinger.
Well, Marialice, one good thing about the virtual format is that I got to bring more than one pair of stilettos to the event. Marialice's impact on community pharmacy began when she started the community residency at Ohio State in 1997. This impact is particularly evident through her residency coaching tree. Graduates from her program are pharmacy faculty, community pharmacists, industry pharmacists, patient care coordinators, just to name a few. They are practicing in ambulatory care clinics, managed care facilities, 340B pharmacies, pharmacy associations, and serving as leaders throughout the profession. Many have started their own community residencies or are serving as program directors. Marialice's coaching tree is pretty impressive. I met Marialice in December of 1998 at a KU reception in Las Vegas, Nevada. And that was literally a life-altering moment for me. And I would not be where I am today had I not met her that evening. The residency year was, in a word, awesome. Who wouldn't want to work with Marialice every day for a year? One of my favorite quotes from her is, "I can't tell you how to do it, but I can tell you how not to do it." And under her guidance, her residents learned to go out and just try. Another Marialice quote that I find myself saying frequently, in fact, I used it twice this past week, is ask forgiveness, not permission, demonstrating how she teaches her residents to go out and just make it happen. We learn these skills from Marialice because she embodies them herself. Marialice serves as a mentor, a preceptor, a confidant, a supporter, and friend to her residents. But this does not end at the conclusion of the residency. Another moment etched in my memory is the APHA annual meeting in Los Angeles, California in March of 2013. I was going through a very difficult time, and simply hugging Marialice in the corridor of the convention center provided the strength and the support that I desperately needed. She always knows exactly what to say. You don't have to go far to encounter others who have had similar, impactful interactions with Marialice. She is an extraordinary pharmacist, teacher, mentor, and friend. I love you with all my heart, Marialice. Congratulations on this well-deserved recognition.
Thank you, Janelle. And last but not least is longtime APHA staff member and Marialice's partner in crime for many activities, Ann Burns.
It was a warm summer evening after a day-long community residency accreditation visit in rural Iowa. 3 women drove to Dyersville, the famed filming site for the baseball movie Field of Dreams. In business suits, they ran the bases, sat in the stands, did the wave, and laughed with joy. Marialice Bennet was one of these women. I first met Marialice as a faculty member at the Ohio State University College of Pharmacy. Students were buzzing about the professor who taught the psychiatric pharmacy module in her living room. I wanted to meet this person who had an unconventional way of teaching while balancing the needs of her 3 young sons. She didn't disappoint. Accompanied by an army of stuffed bears, Marialice has supported and mentored countless students, residents, and pharmacy colleagues, including the Breakfast Club and APHA staff, out of her living room and beyond. One residency class even created an MAB honorary credential to honor her impact. Marialice invests deeply in helping others see and maximize their potential, whether it's patients meeting their healthcare goals or students, residents, and pharmacists getting to practice in cutting-edge ways. She has an uncanny ability to push the envelope in the most diplomatic manner, and she's fearless in moving new initiatives forward. All the while, she keeps John in check, dotes on her kids and grandkids, and roots for the Buckeyes. Marialice's accomplishments have been extensively recognized at all levels, including APHA, OPA, and OSU, a testament to the distinguished service required of Remington medalists. She has built a pharmacy field of dreams by developing transformative practices, cultivating leaders, and most importantly, guiding so many to reach their professional goals and aspirations, including me. That night in Iowa is just one example of the wonderful adventure of knowing Marialice. MAB, thank you for being such a cherished colleague, mentor, and friend. And congratulations on this most well-deserved, prestigious award.
Thank you, Anne. And I must say, I completely agree with all of these comments. And now, we'll again invite President Michael Hogue to present the 2021 Remington Honor Medal to our guest of honor, Marialice Bennet.
On behalf of the American Pharmacists Association and the entire profession of pharmacy, congratulations on being selected as the 2021 Remington Honor Medalist. Ladies and gentlemen, Marialice Bennet. Here we go. Thank you so much for everything you've done. God bless you. I love you.
So now it is time for Marialice to make one more outstanding contribution to American pharmacy, the presentation of her Remington lecture. I'm curious to see what thoughtful and thought-provoking messages Marialice is going to share with us tonight, but I am confident they will inspire us all. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to present to you the 2021 Remington Honor Medalist, Marialice Bennet. Such a privilege.
Wow, deep breath. Before I start, I just have to say, I always say what pharmacy really brings to you is this great family of friends, and certainly hearing those 5 people makes me realize how important that journey's been to make with such special friends. I celebrate with you, and I'm just proud to be able to call you my friend. Thank you so much. So to my dear family, friends, and colleagues, I am deeply touched and honored to receive the 2021 Remington Honor Medal. Although I'm sad that we cannot all be together, I am in awe to receive this recognition from my dear friend, Michael Hogue, in this magnificent building, the home of American pharmacy. I am humbled by those who supported my nomination, people who I not only admire, but also many people who've been a light for me on my journey. My heartfelt thanks to Henry Mann for leading the nomination, and to Amy Bennett, Ernie Boyd, Kelly Good, Cal Knowlton, Lucinda Main, Bob Osterhaus, and Rebecca Sneed for supporting the nomination, and to Bela Menta and Janelle Rusinger for serving as supporting directors. I am grateful for the leadership and my colleagues at the Ohio State University College of Pharmacy and the OSU Medical Center who believed in me and provided me with the opportunities and support to pursue my dreams. I chose a road less traveled, which felt, in many ways, more like a ministry. I hope in some way I've made a difference. My path has been championed by my husband, John, and inspired by our 3 sons and their families, Jay and Kyan, Vincent, Stephanie, Jackson, Tyson, and Lulu Rose, and Brian, Jessica, Josie, and Hudson. They would love to be here, and I would love for them to be here with me, but you know they've got my back. If you look over my left shoulder, you see them. Being a mom has always been my favorite job, and being a grandma, a close second. Our family has widened my lens to the world and made me a better teacher, a more compassionate practitioner, and a stronger person. I am grateful to my community of extended family and church family who've kept me grounded and kept me honest over the years. My life is richer and the journey more manageable sharing it with you. And I treasure the friendships and memories I've made with so many of my trusted friends and colleagues in pharmacy through my involvement with APHA, AACP, OPA, and community-based pharmacy residencies. I am honored to serve the profession beside you. I attempted to include the names of so many people I longed to mention this evening, but that soon became impossible. Please know that I thank you all for your love, friendship, and guidance as we walk this road together. I sincerely share this moment with each and every one of you. I was born and raised in Columbus, Ohio. My family did not have a great deal of money, but I thought we were rich. Our parents raised us in the church and made sacrifices to allow my brothers and I to pursue our dreams. My mother, raised in an orphanage, gave me the gifts of perseverance and the love of music. My dad, raised with a strong German heritage, gave me the priceless gift of unconditional love. As I was growing up, I adored my 2 older brothers, even though they did threaten more than once to shove me in the fireplace ash pit in our basement. After graduating from high school in 1964, I was able to live at home and attend The Ohio State University on a $300 scholarship. I would not have been able to attend college otherwise. I'm so proud to say my brother and I are first-generation college graduates. When I attended orientation at OSU, a counselor enrolled me in math, chemistry, and biology for my first quarter. Remember, this was 1964, when women were not steered toward entering the sciences. Who would have known this person who spent 20 minutes with me at orientation, a person today without a name, would change my life forever? For it was through this science curriculum I found my way to pharmacy. That counselor taught me a valuable life lesson. We all have the power within us to knowingly or unknowingly make an impact on someone's life in the ordinary moments of each day. I believe we are called to be present in these moments more today than ever, and to grasp the smallest opportunity to perhaps change the direction of another person's day or even their life. I was mentored and exposed to cutting-edge pharmacy practice while a student at the Ohio State College of Pharmacy and as an intern at OSU hospitals. After graduation, I had the incredible opportunity to become one of the first clinical pharmacists in the country in 1970, and the first pharmacist around with the renal team at OSU hospitals. The relationships with medical trainees and providers formed during these early years grew into a lifetime of physician champions for future innovations. I had the privilege to be mentored by extraordinary visionaries such as Cliff Lachelet and Harold Godwin, and to work side by side with innovative pharmacists such as Marva Champel and Judy Riffey. Cliff and Harold both left legacies of creating cutting-edge hospital pharmacy practices and training outstanding pharmacy leaders. When I was an intern and a young pharmacist, Cliff seemed more like the Wizard of Oz to me, creating magic behind the curtain. We were surrounded by so many people like Harold, who led us down the yellow brick road, mentoring us to have heart, to show courage, and to find wisdom. It seems as if we were part of a magical window of time and part of a magical group of people. As I grew to understand the impact pharmacists have on the health and well-being of our communities, I became passionate about developing and implementing patient care services and community-based practice where people live, work, play, and pray. I envisioned a practice that would be autonomous, one that could stand alone with the pharmacist managing disease states and drug therapy, one that was separate from the drug product delivery. The journey was highly influenced by people like Bill Sheridan with the Kroger Company, the APHA Foundation through Project Impact Hyperlipidemia, and with the sort of support of people like John Cassidy, Bob Brueggemeyer, and Dick Rooning from my OSU family. That all changed when I found a new physician champion in Dr. Stephanie Cook. In 1998, the relationship culminated in the formation of a partnership between emergency medicine, the College of Pharmacy, and the OSU Health Plan to create University Health Connection, a cutting-edge interprofessional healthcare clinic that offered a blend of pharmacy, urgent care, and primary care services for employees of the university. I soon realized the last thing I wanted to be was autonomous. I had the opportunity to practice in the setting of the future where we provided care as a collaborative, interprofessional team with shared borders, where we focused on helping the patient stay well even though they may have chronic disease states, and where the team integrated the delivery of the drug product into the delivery of care to optimize outcomes and quality of life in a value-based delivery model. I must recognize Chris Green as the pharmacist who truly brought the everyday heart and soul to capture the vision of this clinic. Today, healthcare reform begs for this type of practice that we created over 20 years ago. In the early days of my career, I would not have labeled myself as an entrepreneur. However, Clayton Christensen's term, disruptive innovator, did resonate with me. There are indeed many who would attest to the disruptive part. One thing you learn as a pioneer is that you must certainly will fail and that much of what you innovators create will not have longevity in its original form. It's the lessons we learn from innovation that move us forward to create a sustainable future. In addition, I certainly did not fit the mold of an academician. Even so, academia provided me with an endless, rich platform to be an influencer. In both the classroom and through residency training, we were able to inspire and grow change agents for the profession and create care delivery models for the future of community-based practice. I am blessed to have had the opportunity to pave a new yellow brick road where our team of preceptors could mentor students and residents to have heart, to show courage, and to find wisdom. I remain in awe of the many residents and students who are like family to John and me, who have gone on to do more than I could ever dream or imagine. I also would not have called myself a feminist, but in hindsight, I recognize that I frequently bumped my head on the glass ceiling. I once shared with my longtime cherished friend, Ann Burns, that I wish I could be half as feisty as Gloria Niemeyer Franke. Ann responded, "You have potential." Definitely a Burnsified response. As the discipline of pharmacy practice began to evolve in academia, I found having just a BS degree, being a clinician at heart, and being a woman brought me additional challenges to reaching success. During times when I struggled, I found strength to keep moving forward through the images of the brave women who traveled before me, and by realizing the impact my choices could have on promising practitioners and women who followed me. So what advice do I have for pharmacy from this road less traveled? First, change does not happen easily without visionary leaders and mentors. In our busyness, we need to continue to focus on the future. A quote that highly impacted me as a leader and a mentor was from Henry Nouwen. He said, "My whole life I've been complaining that my work was constantly interrupted until I discovered my interruptions were my work. In the interruptions is where I found many opportunities to mentor future pioneers on how to reflect heart, to show courage, and to find wisdom. Second, we as the early trailblazers in clinical pharmacy needed to believe in ourselves. I do not remember anyone being fearful that we would not succeed. We were rapidly learning new skills and going places no other pharmacists had entered, places like clinical rounds with physicians, places we had not been prepared to go. We did not have coursework in pathophysiology, therapeutics, communications, or experiential learning. However, we did not feel limited by where we had been trained or what credentials we did or did not have. Pharmacy leadership granted us the freedom to create, take risks, and build a new way to practice. In contrast, years later, innovative practitioners creating community-based patient care services encountered skepticism and resistance from within the pharmacy profession about their ability to make clinical contributions outside of a hospital environment. Even today, too many of our colleagues struggle to envision a community-based collaborative team, a team that looks more like a medical neighborhood. And too many undervalue the power of the pharmacist's long-term relationship with the patient to impact medication outcomes and quality of life. These internal misconceptions feed a lack of belief in community-based practice, making it more difficult for community innovators to lead change. Today, pharmacist-provided patient care services are evolving and expanding into community-based pharmacy practices. It is here, in relationship with our patients and as part of the medical neighborhood, where pharmacists will make the biggest impact on keeping people well and on preventing and managing chronic diseases. It is here, in our collaboration with community partners, where pharmacists can most influence the health and well-being of our neighborhoods. Our community-based pioneers need our support and our belief. We must guard against barriers within our profession, such as elitism, requirements for CPAs to provide standard care, heavy credentialing, and advanced training when they do not align appropriately with the work to be done caring for patients. These barriers only limit access to care and our ability to create a standard of practice across the profession. It is vital that we do not restrict those who have the strengths to move us forward. It is our nature as pharmacists to believe we need more knowledge. While knowledge is essential, I feel what community-based pharmacists need right now is the opportunity to use the knowledge and skills they already have. We must create an environment where all our entrepreneurs can thrive and continue to grow the profession as we transition once again. Third, to be successful as the first clinical pharmacists, we needed to believe in each other. We had a network of pharmacists within the hospital to support each other and to rely on when we were uncertain. Likewise, when we built University Health Connection, our staff respected and valued the unique role of each person on the team to fulfill the mission of the clinic. From our receptionists to our pharmacy technicians to our physicians. As we grew community-based practice at OSU, residency training evolved from these models, leading to practitioners and preceptors who believed in each other and the important role of training future practitioners to become change agents. In all three cases, we believed in ourselves as a profession and sold ourselves as a profession. Today, we have pharmacists engaged in many more practice settings than we saw back in 1970. Even so, we need to stay a family. We must advocate for and support, respect, and collaborate with each and every pharmacist in each and every setting. We need more than ever to believe in ourselves as a profession and sell ourselves as a profession. We must network within as well as outside of pharmacy and support each other to change our vision into the standard of practice across the profession. To be successful, the example must come from our state and national pharmacy organizations. There are over 3 million nurses and 1 million physicians. Pharmacy has less than 325,000 practitioners. We are small but can be mighty if we find more ways to support each other. Pharmacy's collaborative response to COVID-19 has demonstrated exactly that. As we pave a new path forward, our pharmacy associations cannot afford to be in competition with each other, to duplicate the use of our limited resources, or to have different priorities. We need to continue to grow our collaborations, striving to speak with one strong voice. I regret that we were unable to move towards a national federated association model when proposed about 15 years ago. Perhaps it's time to revisit a similar model to create a solidly unified family and to speak with one bold voice. As I pass the torch of the profession I love on to the next generation, I ask three things. As the wizards of pharmacy, let us continue to bring heart, courage, and wisdom to the next generation. But at the same time, let us get out of their way and let them take us to a new place. And most critically, let us continue to unite as a profession to speak with one effective, bold voice. Together, we can take the high road for the patients we serve. And in turn, perhaps the road less traveled can make a difference for the future of our profession. Thank you all for making this evening so very, very special. God bless you all.
Thank you, Marialice. You have, in fact, inspired me as always. It is a personal honor for me to be here tonight. Your presence this evening helps make the Remington Honor Medal truly the profession's most prestigious award, even in a continuing pandemic. And Marialice, we have one more surprise for you.
Hey Grandma, I miss you and wish we could be there to celebrate with you, but I would like to take this opportunity to tell you how much you mean to me. I was recently asked to explain what bravery meant to me, and I immediately thought of you. I think that being brave is fighting for what you believe in and never letting people say you can't do something. You have many traits that show your bravery. You are strong, you are a leader, and you stand and speak in front of large groups of people. And you don't always follow the rules. I have grown up traveling around the United States watching you get awards, seeing the impact you've had on other people, representing women and how we can do anything we set our minds to, and feeling proud to call you my grandma. Most of all, I love the times we spend together baking cookies, watching movies, and shopping, and that you are always up for anything. I know you will always have my back, and I can trust you. Congratulations on this award, and thank you for being an amazing role model. I love you and can't wait to see you soon.
A lot of pharmacies watch that little girl grow up to a wonderful, wonderful young lady. What a blessing, Josie. Thank you so much. Love you all. Love all my grandkids so much.
That's wonderful. Oh. You make me want to be a grandma, but not yet. As one final reminder, please do remember to sign the electronic recognition books that are linked in the chat. These recognition books will remain open until March 20th, so please sign them before then. Thank you all for joining us for tonight's celebration of the 2020 and the 2021 Remington Honor Medalists and my good friends, John Grabenstein and Marialice Bennet. Good night.